Okay.
You're looking good, sir.
Well, I said we have a lot of things to do today.
But first,
A lot.
thank you to
Here it is.
Kiran from Atala Group and the Montes Water.
Talk to me about this water, Commish.
It is delicious. It's fluoride free.
Fluoride free.
I appreciate the fact that it doesn't have fluoride.
Doesn't taste like Clorox?
No. And by the way, glass.
A glass.
Glass.
Yes.
This is big time, and also with the Vichy Catalan, which is great water.
I don't think he needs an introduction.
You guys
But we introduce him anyway.
But he does a good job putting himself out there, and he's been here a second time back on the pod. But Commissioner Roberto Gonzalez from West Kendall. For those people who don't know you, tell them about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Roberto J. Gonzalez. I'm the county commissioner for District 11. I grew up in Miami. I'm a Miami guy. Love the jacket, but you are going to win today with the amazing West Kendall shirt.
Let's go, baby. Finally got my shirt from Kendall Supply, baby. Let's go. Shout out.
Listen, I think it's important because we wanted the commissioner to come back on. Because as we always tell all our viewers and we tell all our listeners in a day in Miami, we like to bring the issues to them.
Right.
Because we were talking off camera before we started this, and we're going to get into that, because there's a hot issue. And there's a hot issue that's going on right now, and that's why we wanted you to come on and talk about it. Because these are things that I tell people. There's so much stuff that's going on always in the county that the regular, folk out there doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Right.
They don't know. I mean, people know that, people that are from the background of political, there's commission hearings or this and that. And then people say, when is that? Where can I find that out? So there's a lot of things that go on. I always tell people, if you don't get involved, no te quejes.
And I'm not going to lie to you, man. That's what I love about your guys' show, right? Because I feel like more people need to get involved.
100%.
And I feel like people need to understand that local politics affects them. But for a long time, it seems like it's something that's boring. And I think that's on purpose, right? True. And so when people like you put it at the forefront and you just give it to people, you don't give an opinion, you just give it to people and allow people to understand who their commissioners are, who their city council people are, who their mayors are. A lot of people don't know that your local politics affects you way more than the president does.
Yeah, well, I always say it, brother. Trust me. I'm a huge advocate of that in this program. I always tell people, get involved. No te quejes if you don't get involved.
And to that point, okay, I want to tell people out there, we are not 60 Minutes, okay? We get the comments, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Push harder. You're not asking the tough questions. We allow people to just speak, and then the public can decide.
You make yourself,
I vote for them or they don't, because we see that they're liars, they're scumbags. It's, usually with Cava, unfortunately, it's just a bigger platform for her. But with the Doral mayor, when she came in, she's getting a lot of praise, surprisingly in the comments.
I love
when we had you on the first time, you got a lot of praise too,
Christy's awesome, man. Christy's the homie. Shout out to Christy Fraga, Doral. You guys are killing it. Love it.
She's doing a great job. And listen, at the end of the day, what we do is we're gonna have now. We're gonna get into your subject because I don't want to spend time on the other one, but. What we did with that was a lot of people's concerns about the airport.
Yeah.
So then basically now what we're going to do is, and I'm telling everybody out there, we're going to do now a podcast from the airport. Yeah. We're going to sit down with the director and we're going to be with the mayor. We're going to go and we're going to now go list by list of everybody that's had a complaint.
With the comments, we're going by the comments.
We're going by the comments.
You guys already know because we've had a lot of conversations about this, and both of you guys are entrepreneurs, and we talk about tech and we talk about how we need to bring better economic booms to Miami-Dade County. So one of these days we got to sit down and talk about aerospace and space technology. I feel like Miami-Dade County needs to be a leader, and we let Atlanta and other places take our freaking lunch money. And now, with what the governor's done with space, with what Byron Donalds and Ashley Moody are doing in Congress and in the Senate to bring NASA to Central Florida, and with what tariffs are doing to bring manufacturing to the United States, Miami right now is at a pivotal point in history, and I'm all in, guys. Yeah. One of these days, I know we're not talking about that today.
No. I had a question here about that here.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's just jump into the most important situation that's going on right now. And what's going on right now is this whole issue with the fluoride.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is something that everyone, because I have people talking to me about it, a lot of people tell me since a long time, everybody says Miami-Dade water is one of the best waters that you can drink.
And it is.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I'm one of those people that, in the kitchen sink, I'll just go boom and drink my vitamins in the morning.
Go to Orlando and you taste
No, you're right. Or the ice.
Brother, please.
You're drinking. All right, but listen.
But anyway.
To go into it, okay?
Yeah.
give us your reason of why the fluoride should be removed from the water. I know everyone has their own opinions, okay? We had a doctor that as soon as you put that post up, he DM'd me. He goes, look at your commissioner, what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm actually going to talk to him about it, And he was a proponent of having fluoride. I personally don't think we need fluoride in the water. I get it that back in the days, 100 years ago, people wouldn't brush their teeth,
1945.
Yeah, people now we brush our teeth twice a day,
Right.
Twice.
Yeah. You do 3 times?
Oh,
Oh, damn, man.
brother, please. I mean, don't be talking to me after lunch, brother. Anyway.
So give us your reason and how you got to this point. How you're leading the charge on this. I'm curious to know that.
Well, and apart from that, also,
Yeah, of
Commissioner,
course, of course.
explain why we're here, because something happened in the commission.
Yeah,
right,
I
with
mean,
this
look,
fluoride
I'm not
issue.
gonna lie to you. I mean, both
Yeah.
of you know, I try to have a good relationship with everybody, and I have a great relationship with the mayor. I think she's got a good heart. I think she's a good person. But I think she made a big mistake with the veto. Right? The county commission, my colleagues, decided by a wide margin, bipartisan vote of 8-2, 5 Republicans, 3 Democrats, in favor of removing fluoride to put the safety, well-being, and freedom to choose of the people first, above politics. And unfortunately, I feel like the mayor didn't do the same thing.
Okay, so let's elaborate a little bit on that. So this was an issue that was brought to the commission.
Right. So,
correct?
okay.
So how long has this been?
Yeah.
Let's
talk
talk
about that.
How long has been? Give me
Let's
the
talk about
history so our viewers know. Okay, I don't know what happened here.
So I am the chairman of the Health and Safety Committee.
Okay.
Right. And so anything that's health and safety comes before my committee. Now, last year, right, September of 2024, there was a lawsuit, a federal lawsuit in California that was decided that basically said, where a federal judge mandated that the EPA look at the levels of fluoride that they're recommending into all of the United States.
Wow.
Because it posed an unreasonable risk to children, to bearing mothers, and to anybody who's ingesting the fluoride, right?
Okay.
So this was a 7-year lawsuit, and the decision of that lawsuit was EPA, go back and look at what you're doing, because there's an unreasonable risk here, right? We're talking 7 years of evidence, depositions, etc.
Right.
I spoke to the attorney that led the charge in that lawsuit, right? Right after that lawsuit gets decided. By the way, just to throw this out there so you can see that this is bipartisan, that judge was appointed by Obama, right?
Okay.
Now, that lawsuit gets decided. The Surgeon General of Florida, right, the highest authority on in medicine in the state of Florida, and we don't have to even talk about his CV, but this guy went to Harvard 3 times. Okay. He comes out and he recommends that the entire state remove fluoride from its water, which, by the way, there's a bill right now that is going to pass this week.
Yeah, that was my question.
Right.
That was my question.
Now, he recommends that. I see that there are some counties and cities that are starting to vote on removing the fluoride from the water, right? I speak to the Attorney General of Utah and to the representative in Utah that was leading the charge to remove fluoride from Utah's water. So I say, you know what? There's something here. Let's just have a conversation, right? Why not have a conversation? So I invite the Surgeon General of Florida to come down to my committee, right, and give a presentation on fluoride, right? A lot of my colleagues came. Go ahead.
No, that's a good point. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Not only him, but he brought dentists. And then we also invited Ashley Mallon, who is the only doctor in the United States that has done a study on human beings on the neurotoxicity effects of fluoride, right?
Okay.
They come, they give a presentation. Before the presentation, we had so many people show up just to speak in favor of removing the fluoride.
That was my question, not to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's very important. So you guys had, a public hearing. You had a public hearing at the commission chambers.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And so people can come out and either who were for or against the fluoride issue.
And a whole bunch of people came out because
Right.
look, how many times are you going to be able to even see the Surgeon General of Florida speak, right?
Correct.
So he gave a presentation. Ashley Mallon gave a presentation. Some dentists gave a presentation. Everybody in the community got a chance to speak, right? A whole bunch of people came out to speak, right? After that happens, right? We have a second town hall,
Okay.
That town hall was online, right? We invite people from both sides to come speak, right? Maybe 15 minutes into the conversation,
Yeah.
there is a communist group from like outside of Florida that hacks it, and just we weren't able to continue, right?
Oh my
Which was
God.
crazy because I don't want to bring up the communist thing, but why not have a conversation? Why can't we talk about
We didn't know communists were so much into
I didn't
fluoride.
even know communists hated fluoride.
Right,
Like,
okay,
I had
so-
no idea.
Well, because maybe they don't have any toothbrush or toothpaste in their. But
That's a good point.
You know, I mean, it's a communist country. Here's my biggest question to you. So when you took this to your committee then passed it on over to take it over after you guys
Right.
did your.
So this is what happened. So
Yeah.
so it came to the committee. We heard it.
Mhm.
We had the town hall. I proposed the resolution. I mean, immediately. I mean, dude, look, at the committee, we had so many people show up just saying we need to remove this from the water. I put the resolution forward. Anthony Rodriguez is now the chairman of the
Correct.
board, right? And I know you guys know Anthony.
Yes.
He is a do-it type of person. Like, he doesn't play games, right? So immediately he sees the resolution. He puts it on the next county commission meeting, right? As the chair, he has the power to do that. And you know what? I admire him a lot because this guy,
He didn't have to put it right
no
now.
nonsense,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
He sees that this is an issue. He sees what the Florida Surgeon General says. He puts it on for a vote. Let's vote on it, right?
100%.
Bro, nobody complains. Nobody complains, right? After the town hall, right? About 3 weeks pass, and it goes before the county commission. At the county commission meeting, brother, there was at least 100 people there talking about in favor of removing fluoride.
Right.
I'm looking at my colleagues, and my colleagues are intrigued, right?
Yeah.
And so many people came out. They were giving their reasons. Dentists came out. Doctors came out. And I think there was like 3 people that came saying, "Hey, we need to keep fluoride in the water."
Okay.
Right. So when the mayor says that people were not allowed to speak on this, it's a little bit insulting, because just because people are not saying what you want them to say
Right.
doesn't mean they don't have
that's
an
true.
opinion.
Right.
It just means they don't agree with you, right?
So, Commissioner, let me ask you this, and then we can take it from there. But if we have the Surgeon General
Mhm.
of Florida, right, which is, you look at him as the highest authority
Right.
in Florida, to give you that opinion, you know what I'm saying he recommends for no fluoride to be in.
Well, not only him. Remember, the director of health right now
Correct.
is Robert F. Kennedy, right?
Right.
Yep.
And
Right.
Robert F. Kennedy has been fighting the fluoride battle for years.
Right.
For years. You also have a federal court judge saying there's an unreasonable risk, right?
Correct.
To parents, to children, to mothers. So you have the highest authorities in the United States of America saying remove this, which, by the way, Robert F. Kennedy about 2 weeks ago gave a statement saying that he's going to be recommending the EPA to recommend to the CDC to
Correct.
no longer put fluoride in the water.
Right.
Like, what are we
Which
really
I'm sure is going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to
But
happen.
question: if they go on from a federal level and they apply that, then we have to obviously remove it from here, no?
Oh, absolutely. But not
Okay.
only that, at the state level, 2 weeks ago, there's a bill to remove fluoride from the entire state. That passed in the Senate, right? And it's going to the House, I think, this week.
Mm-hmm.
And after that passes, we have a great relationship with the governor. We've already talked with the governor's office. The governor's going to sign it immediately. So this might be moot. Right?
Right.
But I think it's important to understand why, right?
Yeah.
And so, a lot of people say, well, if fluoride's been in the water for 100 years, why are we taking it out? Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
The first time fluoride gets put into the water.
Wait, but let me get
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Commissioner, why is it that people have fluoride back then in the water?
Okay, that's a great question, right? So fluoride begins to get put into the water in 1945, but it begins in Miami-Dade in 1958, right? And so it is being recommended to put fluoride in the water. At the same time, doctors are recommending that cigarettes are good for your health.
That's crazy.
Right? So this is how we know that medicines evolves.
100%.
What happens,
Yep.
right? 1958, we're putting 2.4 ppm in the water. I don't want to bore you guys, but 2.4 ppm. What happens? In 1975, there is a lawsuit. And in that lawsuit, they find that 2.4 ppm is not healthy for people. And it is causing unreasonable risks. and is detrimental to people's health. So they lower it from 2.4 ppm to 1.2 ppm in 1975, right? And so now in 1975, right, 1.2 ppm is great for you. Well, guess what? In 2015, again, the EPA needs to backtrack, and then they come out and they say, hey, 1.2 ppm is way too much. We're going to go down to 0.7 ppm, which is where we're at today. And now I hope you guys are following. Because just last year, 2024, a federal lawsuit comes out and they say, hey, 0.7.
It's still too high.
It's still too high. They might be, there's an unreasonable risk here.
Yeah.
You guys need to look at this, right? So, you know, and you know what's crazy to me is that, you know, the mayor had a town hall herself where she invited some you know, professionals, and it's just amazing to me that you know, nobody knew that this was happening. I find out 5 minutes before. I show up because I care about this, right? And I respect the mayor, and she respects me, and you know, there was no issue. I show up. The main doctor that is giving their opinion there, right, against the removal of fluoride, had no idea, and I'm not a dentist, right? I'm an attorney, right? So I look at evidence, but she had no idea that we lowered fluoride from 2.4 ppm in 1958 to 0.7. I mean, she's there telling people we've had the same amount of fluoride since 1958. Like, I don't understand, dude.
Well, I mean,
that's
for the next one. Always research your witnesses before you go ahead and put them up.
You sound like activists
of who it is. You know what I'm saying? So, but
not to mention, right? Not to mention that there was not one professional there that knew anything about brain function or neurotoxicity.
But that's what I was going to get to. I heard
that's the issue.
that it calcifies the pineal gland. Is what I've heard that fluoride does. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard, like online and stuff like that.
So the studies show, right, that there's calcification of the bones, which make the bones brittle, right? There's also the calcification of the pineal gland. There's big issues with IQ, especially with babies. Now, here's something even bigger, right? Something even bigger is that the CDC, right? No, actually, the director of the CDC is on record saying that the benefit of fluoride is in topical care. That means putting it on your teeth and spitting it out, not in ingestion. There is zero benefit in the ingestion of fluoride. So when you hear that, why are we putting it in the water? More so,
that's crazy.
In 1958, when fluoride starts getting put in the water, guess what did not have fluoride, guys? Toothpaste, mouthwash, Doritos, right?
Yeah.
The food that we eat.
Sure.
Wait, there's fluoride in food?
There's fluoride in food. There's fluoride in water. There's fluoride in so many different things.
That's the new Doge department now in RFK's
We're
department.
going to go check the fluoride department.
He's going to start looking at all the damn thing of what's in fluoride.
And look, it's crazy that you mentioned that, right? Because I don't know if you guys have been following, but last week, RFK came out and they have removed food dyes from our food.
Yeah.
Dude, this has been happening in Spain and in other countries.
They've never had it.
For years.
Yeah.
Which, if you're going to look at the fact of, if we're really going to get into the nitty gritty, when you go to Spain or Italy or these places, I mean,
the food,
you eat
bro,
great.
The food is completely
different.
Right.
It's
You eat a whole bunch of food. You don't gain weight.
It's just like the wine. I don't get a headache.
You don't feel lethargic. Well, the other day I saw also too that Publix has, every so often, they do a batch of cane sugar, Coca-Cola or Pepsi, Coca-Cola, that is meant for the Jews because they like to have the type of food that they
kosher,
kosher
food.
So it only comes out for a specific time. So like they do have the ability to do it with cane sugar.
100%.
The other ones, and the cap is different. It's a different color, a white cap.
Like all Coke from Mexico is all
cane sugar.
It's all cane sugar,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Which is
no fructose, no syrup.
I mean, syrup, yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it tastes amazing. It's just like, man, look, you go to Central America and you eat chicken without hormones.
Right.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
And so that begs the question, bro, what are we putting in our body?
Yeah.
And that's all I wanted. All I wanted is to have a conversation. Why not have a conversation about these things? I understand that there's a lot of companies that are going to lose a lot of money and perhaps they're donating to campaigns. I understand that. But, bro, we're talking about putting health.
That's everything
in life.
Right, and everything in life.
Putting health
You got the ones against and pros. Listen, I tell you right now, I don't want anything in my water. and that's why you have the percentage of people here buying different bottled water, which at turn también, you look at these bottled water and you really gotta take a look.
Microplastics.
Yeah, I don't want to get sued by any water company, but I'm just telling you, you look at some water companies out there and what they have is crap.
Which is really sad, man. I'm sorry to cut you off, but dude, it's really sad because in order like a lot of people ask something all the time, right? They ask, hey, if you get a filter system, does that take the fluoride out of your water? No, it doesn't, right? In order to get the types of filters that take fluoride out of your water, dude, these things cost anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 for your home, right?
But I remember when I was young, or any time now, I would go and get water and drink it, and it would taste a little like bleach. Is that the fluoride, or is that something else? Is that processing? Have you ever has that ever happened to you?
Dude, honestly, so now you're talking about the chlorine that gets put into water.
So chlorine is also added to water.
Yeah, well, to a certain degree, and the thought process behind that is to help purify the water, right? But you know what? Let's look into that too. Let's just look into it. I'm not saying we have to remove it. But what I am saying is, why not look into all of these additives to see if they're hurting us? Now, here's another thing. Fluoride, because you mentioned chlorine, right? Fluoride is the only additive that we put into our water that is a drug. It's literally considered a drug by the FDA.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So then that's another level, right? Because fluoride is a drug, it is a medication. So ethically, you should be able to decide whether you want to ingest medication or not ingest medication, right? Yeah. And so that's another thing, right? I thought that we learned from COVID, right? Because you remember here in Miami during COVID, right? The mayor was pushing for masks. Several different people around the world were pushing for injections, right? Making people take vaccines. Now we're finding out that the science wasn't right with all of those things, right? Now we're finding out that people were wrong, but it was okay to force people back then. No, it wasn't. I thought we learned from our mistakes. Why are we going to keep forcing people to ingest medication?
No, 100%. So then what do we stand now? What's the next step in order? So that was vetoed. That was vetoed. Cool.
Yes. So it passed A2.
Okay.
The mayor has exercised her right to veto it, and she has the right to do that. Right. And so now, as a commission, we have the right to override that veto. But we need a majority vote, right? So Kevin Cabrera is now the ambassador of Panama, and Kevin is amazing. He's going to go to Panama and make it great again, right? Yeah. For America. Yeah. But with Kevin gone, now we need at least 8 votes without Kevin's vote, because Kevin was very vocal and very instrumental in that vote. So now we need 8 votes to override that veto. So what I would say is that vote is going to take place on May 6th. I would invite anybody and everybody out there.
Well, that's important. May 6th. So everybody knows that that's going to be an open commission hearing. Correct?
Open commission hearing. You have the chance to speak.
In 111 Northwest over there in the Stephen P.
Clark. Stephen P. Clark Center.
So that's important for everybody to know. So at the comments, people go, oh, but we didn't know about this. May 6th. May 6th. If you want to get yourself heard, you can go over there and you can put yourself there to chat.
The Tuesday.
Either against or for this.
They probably put it after. They put it after Cinco de Mayo. Is it in the morning on purpose? Or?
Yeah, I'm saying Cinco de Mayo. I mean, I don't know who's gonna. I won't be able to make it.
If it's a 7 a.m. Chamber meeting,
I'm not gonna be able to make it. We have Mexican clients.
But in all honesty, folks need to come and have their voices heard.
100%.
Right? The only way that you can get the government to do what you want to see is by showing up. Your voice carries weight. I don't care if you're for it or against it. Show up and have your voices be heard.
Okay. Good. On another lighter note, okay, I know you're having the your Faith and Family Festival.
Yes.
All right, it's going to be May 3rd.
That is good, man.
What is that? That's May 3rd.
Expo Grounds?
Yeah, May 3rd, we're having a Faith Family Festival at the Fair and Expo Grounds in Tamiami Park. And this is just a day of family fun, man. We're going to have musical acts, special guests, bounce houses, a petting zoo, free pony rides, face painting. Oh, wow. We're going to have food trucks. Most important, we're going to have food distribution for 2,000 families, right?
Wow.
So if you need food, if you're in need, you come out, you're going to get food for your family, up to 2,000 families. Nice. We're going to have resources from not only Miami-Dade County, but from the state of Florida, right? But, bro, it's just going to be a great
and it's free event?
Time. Absolutely, positively, 100% free. As a matter of fact, I have an exclusive for a day in Miami, because you guys are the best, right?
Thank you.
I have an exclusive, and we just got the official
Oh, let's
We
go.
got the official Faith Family Festival.
Damn, that's
Beautiful.
really nice.
And
Very
so
pretty.
We're gonna give out the first 500 people that show up. They're gonna get a free Faith and Family Festival T-shirt.
Wow,
Love it.
This is the first year you're doing it?
First year we're
Oh,
doing
nice.
it, and so look, man, I feel that the most important thing in life, and this is just my personal opinion, right? The most important thing in life is faith and family. And I feel like a lot of times in society that gets downplayed a lot.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, society will tell you that there's something wrong with that, right? I want to erase that ideology, right? Because I could tell you right now, you cannot pop enough bottles, right? You cannot go to enough parties to get the happiness
Yeah, you're fair.
that comes from having a loving family and having a good relationship with God. It doesn't matter what faith you believe in, but having faith is important.
Yeah.
And so this is during the National Day of Prayer week. We're going to have the biggest prayer event on the East Coast,
Wow.
right? And it's just a day where people can come and celebrate with their families and have a
love
good
it.
time. And then we're going to pray for Miami-Dade County as well.
Let's go. No, we need to pray for a lot. I'm going to send you a list of everything to pray for. I'm going to send you a list of everything we have to
I
pray
could pray I
for.
could have a watch like Manny one day. That's what I'm gonna pray. I'm just gonna-
We're
That's a beautiful walk.
We're gonna pray. We're gonna pray. We're gonna pray.
All right, I have a couple things, but go for yours.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
We talked about this before. I want you to give some insight on the project that you did at Olympic Park and the courts and painting the courts with
Yeah,
the,
man. Yeah.
with the artists. That was really nice. With bringing people from Kendall to come back into Kendall.
Yeah, man.
Give a little explanation of that, and then for my boys from Lago Mar. We play basketball at Lago Mar Park, and they don't have a relationship with him, and they're asking when is it possible to paint those courts.
Oh, bro. Okay. So,
Go buy a
That
bucket of pan paint.
I'm not an artist.
no.
Well,
I got
great.
good news, man. I got good news. Okay, so
And another exclusive.
that initiative came forward. There's a gentleman that works in my office. His name is Karim, right? And he grew up in Kendall, like you grew up in Kendall, and we just have a lot of mutual friends, right? And so he came to me one day and he's like, "Bro, we need to do something for this basketball for this basketball court because it's just it's underutilized and we need to stand out." And so we got Dism and Atomic to come through, and they grew up playing basketball there, so they're like, you know what, we will donate our time to making this like the coolest basketball courts you've ever seen. They came out and they were kind enough to do the murals. After that happened, man, it exploded. We got so many phone calls, and so we've been working on something with Pat Riley.
Oh,
and
wow.
with the Heat,
No, more exclusive.
right?
Wow.
And I don't want to give out too much.
No.
But I care about parks, right? 'Cause
Yes.
like when I grew up, like my mom cleaned houses for a living. My dad worked in a warehouse. I spend a lot of time at the park and at libraries. So these are two things that I think are important, right?
Yeah, they are.
Because they changed my life, right? So my priority is to make sure that we have the best parks in West Kendall, right? So part of that priority is we've been working with the Heat, and I think people are going to be really happy really soon.
Okay, good. And pickleball.
And a lot of different artists too.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a big pickleball tournament.
Yeah, we have a big pickleball tournament coming May 10th.
Well, I will say this in our district, right? We had a lot of people calling us about playing pickleball in the dark, right? Out in the hammocks, right? And they're like, bro, we don't have lights.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do to get lights? I mean, I'm not gonna say it was easy.
Oh, you got it done?
But yes, talk to the parks
man.
department, talk to the mayor. So Mayor and I have a great relationship.
What's the park that got the lights, Commissioner?
Water Oaks, man. And
Okay.
here's what happened, right? The people that go out and play pickleball there, they started calling our office and they said, "Hey, man, when the sun goes down, we don't get a chance to play." And
Yeah.
we're missing
Which
out.
a lot of people want to play at that time.
Yeah,
They have
you
to
gotta
go
work.
in the morning.
Yep.
So
Not everybody goes, in the morning and go, and play pickleball like half of the staff in this office. But that's besides the point.
So we talked to the mayor, we talked to Maria Nardi, we got together, we found the funding, we made it happen. We just put temporary lights up,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get the full-blown exclusive lights
Nice.
in a few months, man.
Do you play or no?
I've never played, but you know who is a badass pickleball player? The lieutenant governor, man.
Oh, yeah?
She's really good. She's
wow.
really good. I think I played her once, and she destroyed me.
Oh, we're having a tournament if you want to join us. May 10th.
gonna
We're
be good.
doing it at the Fair Expo course.
Yeah, we're doing it at the Fair Expo to benefit La Liga Contra el Cáncer.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if I can, I want to give a shout out to the West Kendall Pickleball Club.
Yep.
There you go.
They're the ones that have been advocating so much, not only for the lights, but just for more pickleball
Well,
courts in
listen,
West Kendall and in all of Miami.
Cheeky,
money.
go in and register to play at the pickleball that we're doing because it's going to benefit.
Yeah, he got the invite. I think he's injured right now, though.
It's going to remember all this is to benefit the league against cancer.
Yeah.
Okay, so 100% proceeds go to La Liga contra el Cáncer.
Yeah, but are you guys gonna have fluoride free water?
Yeah, we're gonna have fluoride free water.
We don't.
We're gonna have
fluoride for what?
Yeah,
fluoride for what? But anyway, listen, we're super happy you were able to come. I know you have a busy schedule. I'm glad you came over and explained.
Wait, I have like 2 more questions.
Go ahead.
You can just keep them short if you like. Is there any update on the land and the project by 162 and Kendall? What's going on there finally?
162 in Kendall. You're talking about all the Baptist homes.
That big plot of land there. What are they doing
Absolutely, man. Yeah, look, so that came in before my time, right? I wouldn't have gone with that many apartments. That's just me. I don't think that West Kendall needs apartments. I don't think we need single-family homes out there. What we do need is we need live, work, play.
But wait, they're not doing like a...
So I was getting to that, right? So what they are doing is what's left there is going to be like an entertainment center. There's going to be restaurants. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff for folks to do, right?
Entertainment, movie theaters. I heard there was
right. Entertainment.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a movie theater per se, but there's going to be really, really cool family-friendly activities to do.
Where's that by?
162 and 88th. It's by Kendall Baptist.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Which, you know what else is by Kendall Baptist? I just want to throw this out there, right? Because, you know, one of the myths about fluoride is that folks can't get dental work, right? So Caring for Miami is an organization that came out of Christ Fellowship, right? And this is a mobile van that gives free dental work and will give prescription fluoride to people absolutely free. It is every Wednesday in the Baptist in the West Kendall Baptist hospital parking lot.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is make an appointment, and they do everything from X-rays to root canals to
That's crazy.
This is for people that cannot have that don't have, you know.
And guess what they give? Guess what they give you? No questions asked. Free toothpaste. Free mouthwash.
Yeah.
Wow. Last question. You were in here last time. It was and it blew up. I'm gonna ask it again because we always ask it. What are your right now top 3 restaurants in Kendall, in West Kendall?
Top 3 restaurants in West Kendall, bro. Is that
or new ones that
we have so much talent.
New ones. Give me some new ones that you've been visiting, you've seen that you pop up on.
What's the one that I just took my wife to that you recommended?
Number 3. All right, what do you got? Number 3.
All right, so number 3 would be Jealous Fork, man. I don't know if you guys have been out there for brunch. I don't know if you've been out there for breakfast.
I've seen the videos.
Incredible, absolutely incredible.
I haven't been yet.
Yeah.
Also, you got to go to Vice City Pizza. I mean, when you're talking about Detroit style pizza, look, our pizza game in Kendall, I'm just saying, we're taking everybody's lunch money.
Yeah.
Back
really
in the day, back in the day, you used to go to the Grove, and you remember that spot in the Grove by Senior Frogs that had like the best pizza.
Yeah.
Right. Not anymore, bro. You got to go to Kendall to get good pizza.
Well, Dave Portnoy went there and rated it too.
Yeah.
Who?
Dave Portnoy went to Vice City Pizza.
Oh,
and rated it. Yeah.
Dude, it is incredible.
Amazing.
No, it's incredible.
And number 1.
Your
go-to, you know, like Old Faithful.
Number 1, I'm going to have to go with the Michis, man.
Yeah.
Italian. My wife loves Italian food. So
you can't go wrong.
They've been there forever.
You can't go wrong.
I take my wife over there too.
Michael Jordan has eaten there.
Okay, oh wow!
So,
well, I think his wife lived in that area. He used to live in Kendall or something. His wife lived in that area.
His wife is from Kendall.
I don't think he lives in Kendall.
All roads lead to Kendall.
All of them. You never know. He probably has a house over there that nobody knows about.
I've heard that he has a house in Kendall.
Yeah.
Well, no. I think his wife is from Kendall.
Yeah.
Right.
The hood.
Yeah.
Commissioner.
The real hood.
We got to now go support.
Thank you, brother.
Yo, the comments are about to light up.
Yes,
about the
they are. Yeah.
There it goes again.
Later, bro. Appreciate it, man.
The show. You guys are
Thank you so much, Commissioner.